Students from all different backgrounds and cultures begin their college experience here at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. With their $6,000 meal plan in one hand, they head to campus dining of Vista Grande, expecting to find foods that match their needs. Although some may find it easy to meet their needs with the food options available, others that have dietary restrictions may find it harder to do so. The reality of campus dining is evident. With growing diversity in a campus that prides itself over this change, you would expect the food to follow. However, it only seems to be decreasing in quality and variety. This lack of diversity in both food quality and food options available to students is the main topic of our discussion today. Perhaps a possible reason to the lower quality of food could be the fact that workers are not trained in specific areas or that they are not getting paid enough to be incentivized to work and make proper food.
Hi, my name is Aubriana Medina.
Okay, and you worked at VG's, correct?
Yeah, I worked at VG's. I worked at Vista Grande's Deli Market.
Okay, do you know, averagely, how long you worked there?
I worked there for, I think, 3 to 4 months.
What's your name?
I'm Caroline.
And what do you do?
I am a student assistant at Streets
And how long have you been working for that?
since early February of this year.
What was training like, and what do you do while you're at work?
I got my food handler's card to start off training, and then on my first day they just kind of threw me in there, and I kind of figured out how to do things by watching. At work, I'm packaging orders, processing them, I restock, I close most nights. So there's cleaning and making food involved.
Were you ever told to work somewhere else?
The second time I worked, I had to go to the sweet bar, and I was the only one there. I got trained by a manager really quick, and he checked in very rarely, and I almost didn't get a break. It was kind of learn by doing sort of thing. Yeah, I wasn't properly trained in those environments.
Would you say that the pay is lower than you think it should have been?
I think we should be paid more. The only jobs on campus are minimum wage, so we do have a lack of pay options. And for what we do, and I worked really early shifts, so I feel like some people don't want to work 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. shifts, and for that they should be paid more, especially because there's so many students that come in all the time and we're rushed. We have Grubhub orders and in-person orders, and then we have to restock our food and stuff. So with that, we should be getting paid more than $15.50.
Would you put more effort in if you were paid more and knew that you were being compensated properly for your work?
Yeah, I think if I were to get paid more, it would have more of an incentive to work harder. It's hard. I've only done it for 3 to 4 months, and I was kind of oh my gosh, this is exhausting, especially with school. So getting paid more would make you feel more recognized for the work you do for the campus.
Are you motivated to make the food as good as you can when you're preparing?
Personally, I put a lot of love into my burrito making. Not everyone cares, or sometimes when we're really busy, we'll have nights where we're processing maybe 800 orders in 4 hours, and we simply don't have time to assemble the perfect burrito or the perfect bowl.
Do you think there's any kind of issues with the food that you're working with, or with the ingredients?
I'll just say the only issue is that the food is mediocre. The seasoning could be improved.
Mm-hmm.
Since it has to be kept warm, and if we don't get a lot of orders, sometimes it'll be sitting out for a while and dry out, so there's some inconsistency in the quality. I think that we do the best with the budget we have and the food that we're given.
For those with dietary restrictions or who simply want to eat healthier, it is hard to find food that can match their requirements and needs.
Is it difficult to find food that you can eat here while being vegan?
To find food that I can eat as a vegan, like, no. But that doesn't mean that the food is always, like, edible, like, good to eat and tasteful or nutritious or, you know, light on the wallet. Like, there's so many other factors that make it so horrible to actually pick out the food that I want to eat.
Are they transparent about what they serve you here?
They have a very, like, basic, like, list of, like, what the main items in a food are, but when it comes to, like, nutrients or, like, actual ingredients, there's nothing more than just, like, bread, meat, lettuce, and a sandwich. Like, it doesn't say, like, the types of anything or even the amounts of everything. It changes all the time, which is, like, really frustrating when you're trying to actually focus on what you're eating. And then they also have, like, so many different resources, like different charts that have the proteins, the fat, the carbs, and the micronutrients and all these different things, but then they're just not filled out for, like, half of the items on food. So there's just, like they're trying, but just in a very lazy way, which then overall makes it, like, not easy to look at all. So, like, especially as a runner and a gym goer, I'm very active on a day-to-day basis, so I want to know what I'm eating most of the time. And especially as a vegan, I lack nutrients as is, and so I have to really pay attention to that. But they don't have options that are actually well-rounded for someone who with my needs. If they are, they're gonna be like $20 and spending a day's worth of my dining plan, which is just not ideal whatsoever.
With dining plans beginning at $6,000, the quality of food does not match the cost. And that isn't even considering those who have to make adjustments to their food because of their dietary restrictions, which essentially adds additional costs that add up in the long run.
What dining plan do you have, and is it enough to get you through the year?
I have the smallest dining plan, actually, which is, like, about $1,500 per quarter, because I thought, like, I am on a good day 5 foot, maybe like I'm a very small petite person, so I'm like, I don't need all that money. But then I do regret that because it's not enough whatsoever every single quarter so far, and even this quarter I just don't have enough money, and I always have to dip into other people's and, like, borrow food or buy my own snacks with my own money or do all these different things to get around it. Because being, like, vegan, I have to make a lot of, like, changes to the food I eat, so that's, like, an extra $1 here for oat milk, $1 here without cheese, or $1 here with vegan cheese, or blah blah blah. And all those little things add up. Or I have to get extra protein shakes at the end of the day because I'm just not sufficient in what I eat earlier in the day. So it's like those extra little things add up, making it not enough and slightly just me starving. So
do you think that the food is overpriced at the school?
Yeah, I do think it's overpriced. I think for certain things that we're given, and, like, if we don't want it all, like, we're still paying the full price instead of, like, taking that out of, like, the cost because you didn't get it. And then also just, like prices have risen, especially in, like, the market. Like, our sushi's, like, almost $20.
With a dining plan of over $6,000, students here at Cal Poly should be expecting quality of food equivalent to that of UCLA's, who also has a dining plan of $6,000. However, when comparing food from both universities, it is obvious that the problem is not money. Overall, Cal Poly has the funds to add more variety to students' menus. Perhaps with the new addition of the Dining Complex 1901 Marketplace, this could be a possible solution in diversifying their food options and making it easier for students to meet their needs.